All right, let's get right into this. Now, I didn't do a video today other than the morning message, and I should have put one on, but I'm here putting it on. So this video, the idea is gonna be gauging. No, not like when you have a shotgun and you gauge, or I don't know, whatever you call it. I know it's with the shotgun, the gauge, or I don't know what it is. But the point that I'm talking about, or I'm trying to talk about, is gauging. Almost like a bit of a scientific yet life-related term. So when I talk about gauging, you know what I mean? When I talk about it, it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. But let's people know the substance, yet they still wanna just change it around, make up things, and it's absolutely pathetic. And I don't know how somebody who self-respects himself could resort to that kind of play. I mean that is absolutely pathetic. I get, you know what I mean. And as of today, I can actually say, well, I'm Latin, man. I don't agree with some of the pathetic countries in this world, because there are some of them, But anyways, let's go on. And I'm talking about gauging with the life related and scientific. Kind of like not really estimating. Estimating kind of tends to do with guessing and numbers and hypothesizing and all that. I'm talking about gauging, when you just kind of feel and understand what's going on, right? So I'll tell you something. So you got to understand that in this life, you can try and think about things sometimes on the surface and be like, I should do this, I should do that, I should say this, I should say that. And, you can try, like, you can almost specialize your decisions so that you don't make a consistent decision. Like with everything, you just go, okay, so when I meet my friend Mark, who I owe $500 to, I'm going to tell him this or that. You know what I mean? Okay, well, my girlfriend is really nice to me. I'm going to go to her tomorrow and say this. Oh, my boss is, you know what I mean? And I think I should do this much shop, whatever the case is, right? And you gauge things, to kind of, well, that's when you're just doing things individually. Now, when I talk about gauging things, it's just feeling them out, and you can't spend your whole life on numbers and this and that, to dissect stuff. That's a waste of time, and it takes a lot of time. So, gauging is just like, using your experience or your understanding and understanding what's going on. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because as a child, I was in an environment where it was very just destroying childhood. It was a very destructive environment. I remember, like, we got the first desktop computer or whatever at first. We had a desktop computer, and I loved using it. I would open it up. I would go to Paint. Paint was one of my favorite programs. I'd open up Microsoft Word, different Microsoft applications. I'd play the games Minesweeper and Hearts and Solitaire and everything. And I really enjoyed using the computer. But in where I lived, what happened was that for some reason, the computer would stop working, which is normal, kind of, or not normal, I don't know. But the computer would always get messed up within months, and then they'd have to fix it, and they'd always yell about it like crazy, and they would blame everybody and say, everybody here fucked up the computer, costing me another $200 and having to I gotta go and get it fixed and bust my ass for that, and all you motherfuckers did this, all you fucking assholes. So what happened with me was I didn't like to try anything anymore. I felt like I was really developing while I was using the computer, but I couldn't use it anymore. So I was like, okay, I'm not allowed to use the computer, the desktop computer, I can't even change the channel on the remote. It was just ridiculous. It was a very, very toxic environment. It was absolutely ridiculous. This guy was a total psycho, was running the house. He was a total psycho. Everybody who knew him knew that he was a total fucking psycho, and he was isolated. He was retarded. He always moved away from people because he didn't want to feel what he really was, which was a total fucking piece of shit retard. And this was who he was, this was who he genuinely was. He was a total selfish piece of shit. He used to fuck people over for money. He was just a total fucking idiot. And he was horribly rude. Nobody wanted to talk to him, and he was just an idiot. But, in that environment, I was always told that I was stupid, that I was the youngest and the smallest. So I was stupid. I should stop trying anything. I should give up on everything, and I should, not use my mind, not try to get experience. I shouldn't make any friends. I shouldn't go out I shouldn't go out for anything. I should stop thinking I'm special. I shouldn't believe in myself. I should always say that I'm an idiot. I should understand that, my house is a piece of shit too, and that I'm the problem and I'm the one to blame for the problems in the house. So that was what I grew up with, right? So naturally, when I look back and in these specific years, when I was looking back, and I was looking back on my whole life, and I look back and I go, man, I was so fucking good at things. I was like, even when I thought I was making a mistake and doing things wrong, it was like I was gauging everything beautifully. Especially for the shitty environment I had, for being at level 1 and having my life the way it was. I did a really, really, really good job, and I never gave myself credit for it until now, or until recently. I would think back and go, man, I was so on point, and I was so good with everything, always. You know what I mean? And I didn't even give myself credit for it. I didn't understand the bigger picture, and I was phenomenally very good at so many things. I think back on it, I think about it, I'm like, whoa, like that was crazy. So once I realized that, I stopped thinking, because I used to think, man, I'm so stupid. I don't want to do anything, because anytime something bad happens, I get blamed for it. I get blamed for playing sports, somebody gets hurt, I don't want to get blamed for it. I became so phobic of making a mistake that I would literally be like, I don't want to just go to a different restaurant that I've never been to because I might fuck up. I had this phobia of making errors and mistakes, and it was very, very clear and very serious. Because, and I'll tell you another thing about this, is that sometimes I'm glad the way I grew up the way I did, because I always think about it, I go, man, why the fuck did I grow up so shitty? And why the fuck did I grow up like that? When I think back to it, I go, dude, you gotta understand some of the, like the type of guy I wasn't, even when I was born, like when I think about myself, I go, I was not exactly the nicest type of guy. I was, a very different guy. And this life that was given to me for growing up, at the end of the day, it was what I had to deal with for who I was. So I don't have any regrets, and I go, well, that's part of what shaped me, and that's part of what makes me an adult in the world today, or else I wouldn't even be considered, somebody who's from this planet. I had to go through what everybody had to go through, and for myself. So it didn't matter how good I was at anything. The fact that I was a baby and the type of person that I was, obviously I was going to have a shitty growing up, because I've seen guys who have shitty growing up and they can still be strong and they can still do a lot of things. But it's not even about still doing those things. Their whole mentality and personality becomes so much stronger, having to grow up that certain way. And the independence I got was incredible too, because I was such an idiot, nobody wanted to deal with me or tell me anything. So I was an idiot left to my own devices at the same time, which gave me a shitload of freedom, because nobody was checking my marks, what I was getting at school. Nobody was checking how many absence I had, how many skips I had, or anything like that. So I had everything down, but I was a total nerd, because I always justified everything. I was like, if I do something wrong, it better be something right. That's the type of person I was, and that's how I grew up. But I don't regret on it, because every time I think back to it, I go, man, the type of guy that I was, like my personality and the type of person I was, how else was I gonna grow up? I had to genuinely grow up in this world, and that was the only way that I could, not the only, that was the best way for me to be myself. That was the best of the cards that I could get when I was born. That was the best of the cards that I could get, and that was the best position. And today, I'm very glad of everything that happened, because I'm glad with who I am today, and I'm glad with what my life is today. Right? So when I gauge myself and I look back, I go, man, I was always doing well. And when you tell people stuff like, oh, I'm so stupid, oh, I'm so dumb, it has an actual effect on an outcome of something. You can go for an amateur boxing match and you can win, and you can be like, fuck, I lost. Why did I lose? Well, yeah, I might have won, but this guy moved so much better, and he was more experienced, or he was just doing things more by the book, and he should win, or I didn't do enough to beat him. I barely beat him, or you know what I mean, and I should have beaten him worse, or those kind of thoughts come into your head, and you're already hanging your head. And when it comes time to make a decision, even though you could have gotten it, it's like, well, look at the way he's acting, let's give it to the other person. That was something that hit me in my life a lot, was my self-doubt. Oh, I suck, I'm horrible, self-doubt. You know what I mean? I was literally told all the time that I was ugly, that I was stupid, and all this stuff. And the funny thing is that the people saying that to me, you should have seen their faces. I mean, there was one guy, he literally had big ass ears like this, and he looked like a freak. And he was a freak in his life too. He used to fucking drown puppies for fun, and he was a total retard. He was about almost a decade older than me, or around a decade older than me. And these kind of people were saying, we're better than you, and that you're a loser, you're ugly, you're stupid, we're smart, we're good looking, we're better, and you're the shitty one. These were the type of people that I wouldn't be surprised if they were into pedophilia and things. You know what I mean? These kind of people. You know what I mean? Like somebody with those ears. I wouldn't even be surprised if he was if he was a closet pedophile, not wanting to tell anybody. That kind of thing. So it was absolutely crazy. But at the same time, that's when I learned what I had this negative self-doubt attitude, and it helped me to read those self-development books. But now when I look back on it, when I found out so much truth and about my history and so much of the stuff about my life going on, I go, wow, man, I did such a fucking good job, man. Even when it looked like I was doing a bad job, the thing is that people don't understand. Generally, people don't see what's going on, so they don't really understand how to read things sometimes. Sometimes they're making an error engaging you, and you're doing everything on point, and you're doing everything way better. You're doing everything way, way better. And at level 1, as good as I was, today to be at a level that's like, I would rate myself just as an overall level, like as a person, I would rate myself with some of the highest people, that there are. I would rate myself very high. So whenever, and I always think about it, I go, dude, sometimes you can make a mistake, be like, shit, I made a mistake, but I did the perfect thing there. Like, I did what I was supposed to do, and I did the right thing. And that's what I realized today. When I give myself credit for that, and the fact that I've changed and grown so much, I can actually say that I have confidence in engaging myself in life. Like, I know that I'm on point, and I know I'm doing things right. And I know people have been trying to scam me, and I know there's a lot of people who are all about bullshit. And not only are they about bullshit, I can look at people and really tell what kind of people they are. I can look at them and I can study them, and I can understand what kind of person somebody is and what kind of motivations they would have to take certain actions. So, as to give myself credit for my past, I give myself way more credit today because I'm just so much better than I was in my past. And giving myself that credit in the past, today I go, I have no regrets or anything, because everything I did was a real thing of who I was. I might have been at level 0 or level 1, but I'm not today. And that in itself speaks volumes. It does volumes, and literally, it just puts you in the perfect position. You know what I mean? Yeah, you might be in a bad position in life and say this is bad, but at the same time, it's like you're in a perfect position. Why are you in a perfect position? Well, you're absolutely you're in the best position for yourself, and for where the time is right now, and for what it is. I would say, I am in the perfect position. I could be hanging off a cliff right now, about to die, and I would still say that I'm in a perfect position. Reason being just for myself. And again, as good as I've gotten today, and I can look at myself and see how, what I look like and everything, rather than have people mess with my head. You see, if you're messing with a child's head since he's born, you will have a lot of success, especially when you have so decades on the child. And, but, I gotta tell you, man, ain't nothing stopping me, man. I crossed that line already. I'm so much stronger. But that's what this video was about. It was about gauging. And I make this effort to consciously let people know that I do understand how good I am. I do understand how good my moves were. I do understand how good the things I said were. I do understand that I'm doing very phenomenally. I do understand that people look at me sometimes, they go, oh shit, did he actually do that? How the fuck did he do that? I understand that. So I'm out of time, and that's the video. Watch it. Watch all of it.